Released yet.
Vision zero. We're going up now to the press conference. There's the pre-briefing on.
Why hasn't the police report been released in reference to the call to the bishop, and why weren't you told about that?
We'll be happy up at the press conference going to now to answer any questions you have about any other matter.
Any other matter? Why not that matter? Why is that not important? Is it appropriate what the mayor? Is it appropriate what the mayor did?
We just indicated to you that we're going to a press conference. We'll be more than happy to talk with you rather than talking on the fly. Watch us step in.
When were you told about the bishop?
We will answer all questions.
You're going to answer all questions at the news conference?
At the news
about the
conference.
bishop?
About anything you want to talk about.
That's what I want to talk about right now. Why not? You haven't been. The police reports haven't been released. No information has been given. You haven't been made available.
Issuing police reports is not what I do.
Giving orders to keep...
I'll be happy to talk with you up at the press conference.
Okay, we've covered this topic, other topics.
My question is for the police commissioner. What are your thoughts on the propriety of the mayor contacting a member of the police department about a political supporter who's arrested? Are you concerned that this type of inquiry unduly influences members of the department in terms of their decision making? And two, do you think it creates a perception problem of a double standard for the public?
I have no problem with it whatsoever. None whatsoever. That call anybody who wants anything he wants. But I call my people anytime I want, but I call his people anytime I want. You need a free flow of communication in government, so I have no issue whatsoever with him calling anybody in my staff or his people calling people in my staff.
Do you think it unduly influences the decision making of members of the police department?
I do not, no.
And what about the perception of a double standard in the public?
That may be a perception, it's not mine.
Next question.
There's nothing about this incident that required my involvement. That in policing we give a great deal of discretion. That's certainly something I'm known for. I'm known as the great delegator. So if I have a precinct commander that can't resolve an issue of this type on his or her own, I'd be basically questioning that precinct commander's capabilities. I'm very comfortable with the action taken by the precinct commander. It was nothing I needed to be notified of immediately. The decision had been made. It was an appropriate decision from my perspective. So in terms of the timing of it, that I would need to be notified at 1:30 in the morning. It could wait till 6:30 in the morning, as far as I'm concerned.
Commissioner Bratton?
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, just to follow up, can you explain why you think the decision was appropriate that was made by the precinct commander? Was it because of the prominence of this person or because of the nature of the offenses? Was the suspended license not an issue? Just why substantively do you feel like it was an issue?
This was an individual that evidently the precinct commander knows quite well. They've interacted very frequently on issues involving a community that the precinct commander has responsibility for, and that the precinct commander obviously felt that there was no great risk that this individual was going to flee the country based on the offense that had been committed, and that he had no concern that the individual would in fact show up at court to address the issues that had been identified by the arresting officers. This is a discretion that is given to our precinct commander, so I think it was used appropriately here. I have no problem with it.
This was for the mayor. You recently resolved a labor contract with the Fire Department environmental technically that involved giving back pay. Does this indicate that you're inclined to agree to give back pay to other unions? How will this affect your negotiations with the other unions?
It doesn't indicate anything, honestly, because the contract in question was actually very different than all the other contracts we're talking about. It referred to the years 2005, 2006, and 2007. This is a very unusual situation that had gone unresolved, even earlier than the contracts covering the 300,000 city workers in general. As you remember in the budget presentation the other day, we talked about the contracts that go back to 08, 09, 10. This was a separate, very small unit, I think 100, 200 folks, that had a very unusual situation. So we do not consider this any kind of precedent. This is a standalone action. And in terms of the general approach, I think I've said it more times than I could count. You know, we're going to allow any idea to be put on the table by our colleagues in municipal labor. We're also very clear that we have a profound fiscal challenge ahead. and we need to find very substantial cost savings. But that all will be done in private negotiations and respectful negotiations.
Last question, guys?
For the police commissioner, I'm curious if in your previous, you've been in this job obviously for a very long time, have you had previous situations where you've known of a mayor personally calling to find out about a person who's been arrested? And in situations like that, have you received a call or have they been directed to somebody at DCPI?
If I understand correctly, you're asking, do I know of previous instances where may call to inquire about an arrest? That has occurred during my time in my 40 years, so I don't see that as an exception, no.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. The call came not to you, but to DCPI.
Hi, Commissioner, we have a few more questions about the Findlayter incident.
Hey, Commissioner.
Can we get a couple more questions in?
No more questions today, I'm sorry.
You said you're going to answer all questions
Get
after
us
I say
questioned
call.
out.
What does all mean? A couple or? Did I misunderstand that?
Okay. Excuse me.
Are you planning to release the police report here to reporters? You said y'all weren't. Are you planning to release the police report?
You can foil it and it'll be released by FOIL, through the FOIL process.
Do you know when that might be?
That I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long that takes down at the FOIL unit. But that's something that you guys are more familiar with in terms of your FOIL information very frequently. Watch crossing the street.
A community affairs officer to accompany the bishop to court? I mean, is that something you do for members of the public?